I really believe in my dream life. I really do. I believe that even if there's no clear way to it, I believe that I can be there. I can be there first in my heart, and then I can be there with my body and with my presence in this real life. I can be there. And I can be my dream version because it's possible. I don't need to have a proof. I don't need to have a how. I don't need to know the exact steps because honestly, right now, I have no idea. I have no idea. But anyway, the changes that I could make in order to feel like that version of myself that has her dream life, all those steps that I had to take in order to feel that way, I took them. And I lived as that version of myself for a few months, and I truly understood what it is to manifest that life. I just manifested it through my feeling. And I didn't have to see it in front of me. I didn't have to see the 3D material version of it in front of me. I really didn't, because I really already felt it within me. I already created it within me. And I don't think there's any obstacle in front of me. There is no obstacle in front of me. First, I have to feel it, and then I know that one day it's going to be here with me, or I'm gonna be there in it, feeling it, living it. There are a lot of limiting beliefs that we are let embody. We are let embody those limiting beliefs. We are let to embody a lot of shame, and a lot of guilt about having big dreams and believing that we deserve them. But we do deserve to have an abundant experience. We do deserve that. And maybe first you have to go through the tough things that are going to teach you that you deserve better. I'm not sure if you can just believe that you deserve all the good stuff without first going through the stuff that is difficult and that really just makes you feel like shit, so that you can finally realize that you deserve better. Whatever you've gone through with your parents or with your family in general or with people around you, whatever tough stuff they've kind of put upon you, tough experience or like disrespect, it's all there to teach you that you deserve better. It's still a valuable experience, even if it's difficult, but it doesn't have to be permanent. And once you decide that you deserve better, you're gonna deserve better. And it's the same thing with life in general, with how much abundance you allow yourself to have in your life, with how much experiences you believe you deserve to have in your life. How abundant do you want your life to be? There is a version out there of you who has all the stuff that you want, that you desire, that your heart aligns with, and there's no shame about it, I think that there's a lot of shame around having problems that are not too deep, like, people who are more privileged, they have less of a tough time in general, and their problems are not that deep. But that is actually a state that I wish I could find myself in. It's whatever, after being through so much emotional, like, burdens and all of that, I don't have to make it my personality. I don't think that this is a personality to make of. This is just something that teaches you that you deserve better. And it's a good thing if you get to a level of abundance and of comfort where your problems are not that deep. That's not something to be ashamed of. There's not something to condemn. Is that what you call it? That's not something to judge upon. It's just what it is. Like, after you've been through a ton of shit, you deserve to have easy problems. Easy problems. I would call it shameless comfort. You deserve shameless comfort. And honestly, it's not only after you've been through a ton of trauma that you deserve shameless comfort. You deserve shameless comfort anyway. Like, as a being, as a soul, you deserve shameless comfort through and through. Everybody deserves it. Everybody deserves love. Everybody deserves abundance. Everybody deserves a state of peace. And I really don't want to live my life in a way where I've been through a ton of tough shit and then I keep going through a ton of tough shit and then my whole life is just this. And it creates my whole experience and it's my whole personality and there's nothing else outside of that. I don't think that's fun. What I think is fun is realizing that I deserve better and starting to visualize a version of me that is always at ease, or at least almost always at ease. I had a glimpse of my dream self in the span of a few months, and I absolutely adore her. I love her. She was a goddess. She would work towards her goals. She would be fearless to do whatever it is that she wants to do. She would take care of herself in all aspects. She would live in her dream city and just, be in a state of pure bliss and joy and alignment. And that is just, it's beautiful. And now that I know how it feels to live as that version of myself, I'm not gonna let her go. If I know that it's possible to be that version of myself, I'm not gonna let her go. And you have to be strong and keep going back to that version of you. Because sometimes, my aunt told me, sometimes you have to take 2 steps back in order to be able to leap. And at first, I didn't believe her when she said that. I was like, I don't know, I can get everything that I want, whatever. But maybe life doesn't go that way always. And sometimes you do have to take 2 steps back. But at the end of the day, you have that vision of that version of yourself that you want to be, that level where you want to be at, and you can't let it go. It's okay to wallow a little bit in self-pity and victimhood, maybe for a few days, every now and then. But your base mindset has to be, I can be there. I can be there. And you don't let go of it. You don't. You can't let go, because staying in a constant state of victimhood and attaching yourself to all of your trauma and all of that stuff, attaching yourself to that is just it's a downward spiral, and it's not gonna lead you anywhere. Really, it's not. And I know it. I just know it because there are people around me who went down that spiral and they can't come back up. And it's not worth it. It's not worth it. So you really, really have to find your inner strength and seek a version of you that lives beyond her trauma, beyond her tough experiences, beyond all the suffering, beyond all the pain. There is a version of you that she's happy, she's full of joy, she is pure light and glow, and she loves living, she loves experiencing, she's resting in her feminine, and also taking inspired action towards her dream life. And she's just embodying every part of herself in living in full alignment. And that's a beautiful experience. And you can always get to that point. You really can. And I think living life as that version of you, being able to experience that version of you, this is worth being strong for. This is worth fighting for, I really don't know how to get there, but I'll keep fighting for that version. I'll keep fighting to experience my dream life. I really will. I think it's really worth it. I want to have a broader experience of life. I want to have an experience that is beyond pain and beyond suffering and beyond stupid limiting beliefs. I don't want them to hold power over me anymore. I really don't. There's a version of me out there that is not ashamed of herself at all anymore, and she's fully embodied in herself, in every aspect of herself. And she doesn't have shame, she doesn't have guilt. She holds her power above people's judgment, and she just enjoys her experience. And she's able to connect to people more than ever before, and she's able to hold on to beautiful relationships and friendships, and her life is just full of joy. And this is the life that I want to live, and nothing else, for real. So if you want to get there, you have to be strong. What else is there? You have to be strong. I think that when you, especially if you didn't grow up with privilege, it's difficult to believe that the universe is holding space for you, that she is taking care of things for you, that she is leading you towards your dream life, that there is a way to get there. It's difficult to believe that sometimes, but I do think that there is a way. I don't know the way yet, but there is a way. And I'm gonna keep looking for it. I'm gonna keep getting closer and closer to my dream life, because I know that I deserve it. And if you're holding shame, if you're holding guilt and shame, especially in you, please, please, please try to stand above it. Try to stand above it. Try to go beyond that shame. It doesn't hold as much power over you as you think. It doesn't. The limiting beliefs that you don't deserve it, that you can't do it, that you're not enough, and all of that, maybe the more that you show up, the less it's going to have power over you. And then someday, perhaps it's gonna disappear completely. If you want to go beyond the version of yourself that is ashamed and put down and powerless, then you have to keep showing up. You have to keep taking some kind of action that maybe you're scared to take, but she's gonna lead you towards your dream life. If you're someone who didn't grow up with privilege or money or whatever, there is going to be a lot of shame around you when you start showing up. There's going to be a lot of limiting beliefs trying to hold you back, because you don't have nothing material or external to attach your confidence to. So when you show up, you are just showing up with yourself and nothing else, right? You do have something to offer, maybe, some words of wisdom or whatever it is that you can do, whatever it is that you want to present yourself with. Maybe you just want to talk about your own experience. So you really are just showing up with yourself, and there's going to be a lot of shame that comes up with that. But you can't let it hold you back. The people that have this false sense of confidence because they have some kind of privilege that they've always had, it's just a false sense of confidence. And it's easy to use it as your anchor, but if you don't come from privilege, the only thing that you can do is really just show up with yourself and go beyond your shame. That's the only thing that you can do. And this is where your power lies, right? This is where your power lies. And either way, abundance is not really in the money itself or in the material thing itself. It's in the feeling that it provides for you. For real. If you have a lot of money to travel, you see a beautiful place of earth, and that is the feeling of beauty, the feeling of abundance that you feel when you look at that place, right? It's not really the money that you got, it's the experience that it allowed you to have. Abundance is making the choice to feel abundant despite any outer circumstances that might be limiting you. Even just curating the belief that you can have your dream life, that's already a feeling of abundance. This means you believe in abundance. You believe that you have it. You believe that you have it right now because you believe that it's possible in your life, in this life, not in another life, in this life. And if you believe that it's possible, then there's nothing that can stop you. And you gotta be strong, but at the end of the day, there's going to be a way in which you can achieve it. I really, really believe that.